Hey everyone, it's Eric from URComped. 7 casino trips, 1 spreadsheet, and a final number that might surprise you. Today, I'm sharing my real gambling results from 2025, every win, every loss, and the travel value I got back through comps and points. Stick around because later in the video, I'll show you the Celebrity Beyond room tour and booking documents that so many of you have asked about. If you're new here, Cars and Comps is all about using casino comps and credit card points to travel better, more often, and further without spending more. If that sounds like your kind of strategy, go ahead and hit the like button and subscribe. You won't want to miss next week's video, which is a full report from Atlanta's Paradise Island in the Bahamas. All right, let's get this year's results and see how it all adds up. All right, in January, we went to Las Vegas for a 10 times multiplier tier event, specifically to earn the Caesars Diamond Plus card level. We stayed at the Rio, Ellis Island, which everything was comped, and we used Southwest Companion points to get there. We won $540 while earning the Caesars Diamond Plus card, which is great. And that was a combination of the video poker and with some slot machines. Really didn't play a whole lot of blackjack on that trip. February, we went on a Panama Canal cruise. It was a 12-day Holland America cruise booked using casino match from Celebrity. So we got a balcony stateroom, fully comped. We just paid the taxes and gratuities. I did lose about $500 playing on board, but you know, it's a 12-day cruise and the odds are always in the casino's favor. But the nice thing is it was comped. In March, we went to Lake Tahoe on a family trip. And this time I switched my companion pass traveler from my wife to my daughter. So she was able to join us on the ski trip. We stayed at Harvey's in Lake Tahoe and El Dorado in Reno. Thanks to Caesars Diamond Plus, there was no resort fees, and also I got a free Starbucks every day. And anyway, you know, very nice. I did lose $200 total on this trip. In May, I went to Biloxi, and this is the first time I sort of experiment with baccarat. The house did win on this time. They had a promotion where if you play 30 minutes, you get a free meal. And anyway, that free meal ended up costing me about $700. And for the trip, I was down $1,210. We did stay at Harrah's Gulf Coast, which is nice. And that time of year, it was really a nice trip. And that would be sort of the limit for that type of trip. We did have stayed there for the full week. And although I did lose $1,200. So anyway, and at Atlantic City later that month, we had a Caesars charter flight to Atlantic City. It was all comp, no resort fees, no transfer fees, no transportation cost. I did lose $900, but did get free flights, 3 nights on the boardwalk, and great food and good times. In July, it was a New Orleans charter flight from Caesars again. This was another one of those diamond perks that really paid off because they paid for the flight, the hotel, and the transfers. And since I was Caesars Diamond, I didn't have to worry about the resort fees either. And this was a win. Actually, every session of blackjack was a win, and every slot machine session was a win. I was $1,835 up for that trip. I think it was about $1,500 in blackjack, about $300 in slot machines. Anyway, it's on my spreadsheet, so I do keep track of that. I think it's very important to keep track of it and have a budget for gambling. In September, we went on the Celebrity Beyond cruise, and that was a cruise that we got directly from Celebrity. However, the way I got on Celebrity initially was by showing URComped a carnival offer that I had, and they were able to hook me up for an interior room. And from that point, I've moved up, and I get offers every week now from Celebrity, which is really nice. So anyway, that was the Celebrity Beyond video that was recently, and there's videos associated with all these trips, and those will be in the description of this video. We did stay at a Hyatt hotel on this trip before the cruise and using a certificate, so there was no extra money out of pocket for that. And this was a comped infinite veranda stateroom, which was very nice. And let me actually, one of the things people were asking about was a room tour and the booking documents for it. So I have that information here. Let's roll the footage. And here we go. So this Celebrity Beyond, a couple things I wanted to point out. This is an accessible room. My wife uses a wheelchair, and so this room is a little bit larger than a normal evident veranda room. However, it was actually probably the nicest room I've ever stayed in. Um, really nice. And of course, this was one of the comped veranda rooms, and the window there lowers down to be a full half balcony. And then at night, the blinds close all the way down and make it completely dark, which is beautiful. Anyway, we had room service in the morning for breakfast, the beautiful sunrise there, which I thought was really nice. It's nice to have that area there. And then we had a stop here for a perfect day at Cocoa Key. One of the things that was asked about was accessibility. So Cocoa Key is actually pretty accessible. That's my wife in the wheelchair. She's able to, and they have trolleys and stuff for everybody to get around with, and that worked out really well. So really no problems for Hideaway Beach. I think some other beaches are not quite as accessible as Hideaway Beach is, which does have an extra fee along with that. So the other thing that everyone asked about was the booking document. This is the Celebrity Beyond booking document that we had. And of course, we booked this directly with Celebrity. But as you can see here, the cruise fare says $3,851 per guest. I guess that's the full retail value. I don't think anybody actually pays quite that much, although I've seen, depending on the time of the year and when you're booking it and how many cabins are available, the rates can get extremely high. But as you can see, that's not what we paid. They gave the casino discount. There's multiple discounts. I'm not sure how that works, but it finally came down to $199.19 a piece for 7 days, all meals, that beautiful veranda. I think it's a great deal. On this cruise, we did lose $871 in the casino. So not ideal, but that's sort of the price of getting casino deals from time to time. Sometimes you win, sometimes you lose. But that was a loss. So across the 7 trips, Vegas, Biloxi, Atlantic City, New Orleans, Lake Tahoe, Panama Canal, Celebrity Beyond trip in the Caribbean, my net gambling results for 2025 was negative $1,306. But those losses came with probably $10,000 worth of travel value. Of course, there's some flights values or points, and so not everything's is specifically tied to the gambling, but the airfare for Atlantic City and to New Orleans definitely was. So anyway, for $1,300 for those 7 trips, doesn't bother me at all for the loss. Now, there were other expenses, and I went over those in each one of those videos. And if you're interested in those individual trip videos, they'll be outlined in the description of this video. So be sure to take a look at that if you're interested in that. I'm all about transparency, and I really like to get feedback from our community when we have things going on, or if they have other suggestions of things to take advantage of. One thing that's really not on this list, which I didn't think about it, we did have another trip to Miami too. It wasn't really a gambling trip. It was for the My Vegas, but there's a video associated with the My Vegas, and that'll be linked as well below. So here's the takeaway. Treat gambling like a budget. Stay within your limits and make sure you really want the comps that you're trying to earn. Combine that with the credit card strategies, and you can travel further without spending more. So next up, we're heading to Atlanta's Paradise Island, which is one of my favorite casino destinations anywhere. Of course, part of that is because of the price. The Caesars Diamonds, you get 5 free nights, if you're Diamond Plus rather, 5 free nights with no resort fees, depending on what time of year you book. So anyway, make sure you're subscribed. I'll put a link to the copy of my gambling spreadsheet and the upcoming newsletter. And if you're interested, please subscribe. This link here and this QR code here will help you get subscribed to the newsletter. And basically, once a week, I send out a summary of what the upcoming video is, a link to the video, and a lot of the descriptions for it. And remember, don't carry a balance on credit cards. Never gamble more than you can afford to lose, and set a limit that is not more than the comp that you're trying to gain. So if you're going on a $3,000 cruise, make sure your gambling budget is within that. And if you always stay below that, it's going to always be a win. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.